everyone, it's Mark Rusic here from Iconic Colours, and this is a follow-on from the Instagram post I just did about Van Gogh Unlocked. And today I want to talk about impasto oil painting. So what do I mean? Well, if you look at this picture, I have gone to this, right, which is obviously this painting here. You can see the brush strokes being carved into the canvas. In this case, it's a board that I've used, but you can see that the brush strokes are very almost sculpted. There's so much paint on the actual board that I'm using. So that's the power of impasto painting. It's so textured, it's so vivid, it's so crafted. That's what Van Gogh used in his paintings largely. He was almost obsessed with impasto oil painting. And there's another view of it, a close-up view, and obviously you can see a lot of the texture in this painting as well. It's quite heavy around the actual lighthouse. And so the goal of impasto is to really make the painting magnificent and startling, dazzling, because what's also powerful is when the light is playing on the actual surface of the impasto, it tends to glisten as well, which is really exciting. And you can actually see the DNA of the painting, where the strokes have gone, and you can follow it. It becomes a vicarious experience. Anyway, Van Gogh said this about impasto painting. Another key that I want to give to us, a key tip, is when he wrote to his brother, he said, "I think you'll like the canvas for Mr. Aurea." He was an art critic, a well-known art critic in Van Gogh's day, and he painted for this art critic. And this art critic actually was quite favourable towards Van Gogh because his paintings, he said, had fantastic. He was a fantastic colourist. He said. Now we know that Van Gogh was relatively unknown and only sold one, maybe two paintings in his lifetime. But in 1890, I'm pretty sure this art critic started to take notice of Van Gogh and his extraordinary works, particularly because of the impasto oil painting, right? So he says here, "I think you'll like the canvas I did for Mr. Aurea. It's a terribly thick impasto, terribly thick." So he wanted to really impress the art critic with his impasto oil painting. And what is interesting as well is if you do a search on Mr. Aurea, you'll find that he believed that Van Gogh was not only trying to just have incredibly intense paintings with colours and in this impasto oil painting style, but what was behind that, he believed, Aurea, the art critic, said that Van Gogh's very intent on using all of those things to communicate his ideas, particularly about faith. And so that's a very strong theme, the theme of the eternal in Van Gogh's paintings. I want to go into that now, but the whole reason for the impasto is like a framework that carries this momentum, this heart that he had to communicate, his actual heart and his faith, which is really interesting, I think. And so he mentioned here as well the terribly thick impasto oil painting, very much like Morticelli's. He was a well-known painter, contemporary of Van Gogh, who also used the impasto oil painting. So there you go. I hope that encourages you, that the dynamic use of this impasto oil painting is very powerful in communicating not just your emotion and your feelings, but also your thought and your certain ideas that you have. So that's what Van Gogh was doing as well. And I want I want to add on to that and say I painted this picture actually for my sister-in-law. We had a tragic death this year. The niece passed away, and you know, it was very sad. And when I met with my sister-in-law, I just wanted to encourage her and my brother, obviously, and the family that, you know, can I paint you something that you love? And they absolutely love Point Lonsdale. And so I did this painting, and I'm planning to give it to them soon, reluctantly. But yes, you know, it happened a few months ago now, but I guess what I want to share is she actually chose this this view here, this particular view of the lighthouse at Point Lonsdale, because she felt that she's has strong faith and is a strong believer, and they found tremendous comfort through the whole ordeal by looking to God. And she wanted this picture and verse to come forth, right? She wants a verse that relates to this picture, and the verse is in Isaiah 60 and verse 19. So if you flip over to that, it says something like, there shall no longer be a sun in the sky. There'll no longer be a sun, but the Lord will be an everlasting light. The Lord's going to be an everlasting light in that day, and there'll be no more sorrow. Isn't that powerful? And so my prayer is, whatever you're going through, that God will be that light for you. And in John chapter 8 and verse 12, Jesus actually said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. So no matter how dark it gets, no matter how dark it's been in our lives, I trust that this painting here can encourage you and inspire you to look to God and find comfort for Him in the dark times, because He is the light. And so anyway, that's just a little bit of a side story there, something of myself to you. But I want to finish by saying a bit more about what I do. I also do author talks. I do paint like Van Gogh art workshops. I also love painting, you know, that dream picture, a bit like this here, you know, something that really means a lot to an individual, and transforming that with that Van Gogh style painting. So I hope you've been encouraged today. Thanks for listening. If you've liked it, please like me on Facebook or Instagram, and subscribe so that I can continue to send out videos to you and equip you in unlocking Van Gogh. Thanks today for hearing me out. Bye for now.